E-commerce is heavily changing in 2025, and there is one way that can guarantee you can stay ahead and scale consistently over time. There are three metrics that dominate the field when talking about e-commerce scaling. The first one being revenue per visitor, and revenue per visitor obviously includes in it AOV, your conversion rate, and your traffic. So how many people actually go through your pages and through your funnels. So you can include all of these three things in one single metric. By looking at your RPV, you have a clear idea how your balance is between having a high AOV and your conversion rate and converting enough your traffic. So RPV is one of the main ones. The second one being LTV, your lifetime customer value, one of the most important metrics in terms of scaling long term and actually having a strategy long term. And obviously the last one, your customer acquisition cost. These three, if you look at these three, you can get an idea of how your brand is performing and your brand's health. Now, if your brand is over that 7 or 8 figure yearly mark in revenue, you are most likely advertising on a lot of different platforms. Just to name the main ones, we have Meta, obviously we have Google, we have native ads in here like your tools and your Outbrains. We have Bing, for example, with Microsoft. We have AppLovin, which has been the talk of the town lately on Twitter and for the past 6 months, I would say. So you're probably most likely advertising on a lot of different platforms. The bigger brands, biggest brands cannot afford anymore to stay on one platform and get all of their traffic from one platform. We've seen periods and down periods where Meta, for example, just to name one, doesn't perform well. So brands need to get traffic from a lot of different platforms. And lately, in the last year, for example, a lot of these other platforms have consistently performed better than Meta, but Meta still being the first one here. But all this just to say that you're getting traffic from a lot of different places. You're getting traffic from here, you're getting from here. You're sending all of this traffic to your product pages, your funnels, your store, your collections, all of these things. So let's put here, we have the funnel and you're sending all of this traffic in here. Now, all of these sources of traffic send people to your funnels that are at different points in the conversion cycle. There are people that might be a little bit ahead because they're already educated on the problem. They are searching for the problem, for example, in the case of Google and things like that. So all of these platforms are sending different types of traffic, and these different types of traffic had different metrics in terms of what we mentioned here. So different AOV, different conversion rates, obviously different types of traffic in themselves, different LTVs, different customer acquisition costs between all of these platforms. Now, let's say you wake up tomorrow and you want to increase the performance throughout all of these platforms with one thing all at the same time. So you want to increase your AOV over all of the platforms, your conversion rate, you want to increase your LTV, you want to reduce your customer acquisition costs. Well, there's one thing you might be already doing, which is obviously creative testing. If you have an omnichannel strategy, if you're marketing all of these platforms, you're most likely already testing creatives, a lot of creatives on a weekly basis. You probably have agencies in place or freelancers in place or in-house teams in place that test all of these creatives for you, that build up creatives, build out statics, and things like that. So you're most likely already doing that. But the one thing that's going to improve performance throughout all of these platforms by just doing it once and keeping up the system over time, that one thing is conversion rate optimization. You're sending all of this traffic from all of these different platforms to the same funnels, and we're going to also tackle funnels after we talk about CRO. But you're sending all of this traffic from all of these platforms. All of these platforms have different perks, different things, different way you market on them, and that's why you hire people that are specialized for each of these platforms by themselves. Not two platforms are the same. If you're on ads on Meta and on Google, you obviously know that the big difference that's there between how you market between the two platforms. So each one of these has its perks, its pros and cons. Each one of them can produce great results if you tackle it the right way, but you have to be specialized in each one of those to market the proper way. But if there's one thing that can help you improve performance on all of these at the same time, because that's what we're talking about here, we want to improve performance on all of these at the same time, want them to perform better, then what you want to tackle is what comes after them. So you want to improve, you want to test, you want to optimize the click. After the click that comes on the ad, every single person in your traffic goes to your funnels, go to your pages. And if you optimize these, you automatically improve performance on each of these platforms because you are testing what happens where actually the conversion happens in your store, on your product page, on your cart, things like on your checkout and things like that. So there's only one and only one thing, which is CRO, that can help you improve performance and optimize your performance across all of these platforms just by keeping out a system that can help you consistently optimize your metrics over time, consistently improve your customer experience over time, and consistently improve all of the important metrics that you've mentioned here just by testing your funnels and your store. So how do funnels play into this? Now, I like to separate conversion rate optimization in the macro and in the micro. When you optimize something that's inside a piece of your funnel, so let's say, for example, you're sending traffic to a listicle that then has a call to action to your product page. If you run a split test on the listicle, for example, you test 3 different headlines to see what performs better. That's a micro test because you're testing something in a piece of your funnel. We can also test the macros. We can also test the funnels themselves. So this is also the importance of having different funnels for different types of traffic at different awareness levels, at different points in the purchase cycle. And just considering the difference between all of these platforms, and just to simplify all of this, just take 2 into consideration. So let's remove these 3 and just consider Meta and Google. The difference in the purchase cycle of the traffic between Meta and Google is wildly big. So if you have, if you can also, the first thing that most people think about is split testing the micro. So going on their product page, going on their listicle, whatever is the page where they're sending the most traffic on, and testing stuff in there. And that's perfectly fine. That's the main way of doing CRO. Obviously, you have also funnels in place. You can also change where your traffic is actually going, and that's testing the macro and seeing what performs better for that type of traffic at a macro level. And so also funnel testing comes into play, obviously, with selling angles, with different types of pages and approaches. So listicles, advertorials, quits funnels, things like that, depending on where your traffic is coming from. So there's not just the macro testing on the page itself, there's also the macro testing on different funnels and comparing them to each other. Just the difference between Meta and Google in the type of traffic it sends to your brand. Just separating and testing different funnels between each of those can make a whole lot of difference in your performance. So if you want to improve performance between all of these things, again, besides creative testing, which you're most likely already doing, it's the first thing that all brands think about when thinking about scaling, testing different creatives and increasing budgets. But if you want to complement that, because CRO is not something that replaces ads or obviously marketing on these platforms, that will never happen, but CRO can help them improve performance and optimize performance and make sure you're more profitable per every visitor, per every purchase and customer you get for your brand. If you want to scale your brand consistently and predictably in 2025, then you need not just to split test, but to do it the right way and with the right system. In the first link in the description, you can book a call with me, and on the call, I will show you the exact strategy we've used to scale 7 and 8 figure e-commerce brands, increasing their conversion rate, their AOV, and their overall profitability. And I'll show you how we can implement that same strategy specifically for your brand. In the second link in the description, you can get subscribed to my newsletter, and in the first email you receive in your inbox, you'll get a 60-page PDF on how you can implement a split testing strategy along with all the tools I use daily in my agency, step by step, A to Z, the full tutorial, and you can follow that to do it for your brand. See you in the next video.